Is there truly no one to share the magic of Christmas with you? Her voice quivered ever so slightly as she laid her hand upon the icy surface of the table. The elderly man slowly shook his head, his eyes locked on to the diminutive artificial tree that stood alone in the heart of the desolate diner. With a lilyful motion, she slid a slice of cake across the table, inviting him to indulge in its sweet allure.
Then let me be the first to step forward this evening. He gazed intently at her face, the silence stretching between them, before leaning closer and softly uttering 7 words that hung in the air like a spell. 3 days later, a call from Washington shattered the stillness, heralding a transformation that would alter the course of her life forever. Welcome to Great Man, where we shall unveil the truth behind the events that transpired. At the tender age of 24, Lily Sullivan found herself navigating the bustling world of a quaint diner in the heart of rural Idaho, where she served patrons with a warm smile and a heart full of dreams. In a humble apartment, she resided with her mother, both still grappling with the profound loss of her father, who had departed from this world unexpectedly earlier that year. On the enchanting night of Christmas Eve, the diner stood almost desolate, a hushed silence enveloping its corners. As the evening deepened, the familiar faces of regulars had retreated to the embrace of their families, leaving behind a mere handful of solitary souls. They huddled together, seeking solace in the comforting warmth of steaming mugs of coffee and the sweet indulgence of holiday pie, their hearts yearning for connection amidst the quietude. As the clock approached the hour of closure, with the staff diligently wiping down counters and meticulously tallying receipts, the bell above the door rang out, piercing the stillness of the evening. An elderly man emerged from the snowy night, clad in a tattered jacket and frayed shoes, his long silver hair cascading past his collar like a shimmering waterfall of memories. He was largely overlooked by those around him. "We're closing in, 15, the manager declared, his gaze fixed elsewhere, his voice dripping with a palpable disdain for the very act of service. With a moment's pause, Lily gathered her courage and took a bold step forward. "I shall attend to him, Mark." On this enchanting Christmas Eve, the air is thick with anticipation and wonder. The manager let out a heavy sigh, yet acquiesced with a reluctant nod. With a lilyful touch, she led the elderly gentleman to a window booth where the vibrant hues of neighboring shops spilled their enchanting light, creating a soft radiance that danced across the table. "What can I get you, sir?" she inquired, her notepad poised and ready for his response. "Just some soup if you have it," he replied, his voice a gentle rasp that hinted at its rare usage. "And perhaps a touch of water." Lily vanished into the kitchen only to re-emerge with a steaming bowl of potato soup, grander than the usual, serving accompanied by the final gingerbread cookie from the display case adorned with vibrant red and green icing. With a flourish, she placed the cookie beside the soup, her voice imbued with a sense of purpose as she explained the gesture. On the enchanting night of Christmas Eve, it is simply unthinkable for anyone to be deprived of a delightful treat. The man's calloused hands enveloped the warm bowl, a testament to years of toil and resilience. "Your kindness is truly remarkable."
"I may not possess an abundance to offer," Lily confessed, her voice tinged with emotion, "but to allow someone to go hungry on Christmas, oh, that would simply be unconscionable." He consumed his meal with deliberate, Lily relishing each spoonful as though it were a precious treasure, a rare delicacy to be cherished. His eyes, veiled by the passage of time, yet still sharp and discerning, swept across the diner, capturing nuances that would elude the ordinary observer.
As Lily approached to collect his empty dishes, the old man's gaze met hers with a fervor that caused her to hesitate, caught in the weight of his stare. "You know," he murmured, his voice a fragile thread in the air, "you bear an uncanny resemblance to someone who once pulled me back from the brink." Lily's eyes widened in astonishment.
"I deeply apologize." The elderly man drew nearer, his voice a mere breath meant solely for her ears, as he uttered 7 profound words. You embody your father's essence in every conceivable manner.
A shiver coursed through Lily's body. Just 10 months had slipped away since her father, a quiet and humble man, departed from this world, rarely uttering a word about his valiant military service. How could this enigmatic stranger possess any knowledge of him, of her? Before she could utter a word, the man rose, placing a meticulously folded $5 bill upon the table, a sum exceeding the cost of his meal, and offered a single nod of appreciation. "Merry Christmas, Lily Sullivan," he declared, before pivoting toward the door. "If you hold the conviction that a virtuous soul merits remembrance, then linger with us in this moment." Lily remained motionless, her gaze fixed on the old man as he emerged into the softly descending snowflakes. How could he possibly know her full name? Tonight she had forsaken her name tag, and with it the chance to unveil her identity to the world. With urgency she dashed to the door, yet as she flung it open, the man had already slipped away into the shadows of the night. Only the delicate footprints etched in the pristine snow bore witness to his fleeting presence. As she approached to tidy the table, her eyes fell upon a small folded note hidden beneath the bill, a secret waiting to be unveiled. "I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering commitment to righteousness. Certain debts linger, casting shadows that stretch across a lifetime, demanding their due with relentless persistence." That fateful night, as she assisted her mother in adorning their modest Christmas tree, Lily recounted the peculiar encounter that had left her unsettled. "He knew my name, Mom, and he declared that I resemble someone who has rescued his very existence." She halted, lost in a reverie of memories. "He declared, 'I am my father's daughter in every conceivable manner.'" Her mother's hand froze, a glass ornament hanging in the air like a moment caught in time. How did he appear? Lily painted a vivid picture of the silver hair cascading like moonlight, the weathered face etched with the lines of time, and the penetrating eyes that sparkled with the weight of countless untold tales. "Pray tell, what age would you ascribe to him in the twilight of the 1970s, perhaps spilling into the dawn of the 1980s? Her mother descended into her seat with a deliberate "Lily," the hue ebbing away from her visage. "Ah, Lily, that portrayal aligns flawlessly with the vivid tales your father spun about his commanding officer during his days in Germany. Yet your father seldom spoke of his time in service, claiming it was shrouded in secrecy. No one truly understood the nature of his activities in that place. Just 3 days post-Christmas, as the morning sun cast its gentle glow, Lily diligently tended to her duties at the diner when a man clad in a dark suit made his entrance. With a keen eye and a sense of purpose, he surveyed the room before making his way toward her. "Is it Lily Sullivan we speak of?" he inquired, his voice a hushed whisper, imbued with an air of professionalism. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ethan Owen. I stand as the voice of the Veterans Affairs Special Recognition Division. May I have a moment of your time in private?" In the hushed solitude of the diner's vacant back room, Owen unveiled a time-worn photograph carefully encased in a protective plastic sleeve. A young American medic, resolute and determined, struggled to drag a wounded soldier through the haunting expanse of a forest clearing. Both men were drenched in mud and something far more sinister. The medic donned a striking red hat peeking out boldly from beneath his helmet. This photograph, captured in the year of 1972, unfolds its story near the East German border, as Owen vividly recounted. "It is Private Ryan Sullivan, your father, who valiantly drags his injured comrade to safety." With trembling fingers, Lily caressed the image, her heart racing with emotion. She had never laid eyes on this photograph, never been privy to this hidden chapter of her father's serene existence. The man being rescued, Owen continued, was none other than Colonel Victor Campbell, a figure of immense significance, one of our most esteemed intelligence officers from the tumultuous days of the Cold War. Following his remarkable recovery, he orchestrated a series of pivotal operations only to vanish into thin air shortly after his retirement in 1989, shrouded in mystery. The official record declares him missing, presumed to have met his untimely end. Lily's heart thundered as connections ignited. Could it be that the man at the diner was none other than Colonel Campbell? With a subtle yet profound nod, Owen acknowledged the moment. Indeed, we hold that conviction firmly. For decades, he has dwelled in the shadows, shunning the world for reasons shrouded in mystery. Yet the watchful eye of your diner's security camera has unveiled the truth, confirming his identity with undeniable clarity. At long last, after nearly 3 decades of silence, the first confirmed sighting has emerged from the shadows. But what could possibly compel him to seek my presence? Why, at this moment, it seems that Colonel Campbell, in a moment of profound gratitude, pledged an oath following the heroic act of your father that rescued him. He vowed with unwavering resolve to eternally guard the Sullivan family, determined to repay the life debt in some profound manner. Owen came to a sudden halt. It is our conviction that he has been observing your family from afar for countless years, biding his time for the perfect opportunity to strike. Lily recalled a poignant detail her mother had shared in the wake of her father's passing, the tale of an unseen guardian who had stepped forth to cover her father's medical expenses in his last days, and how, like whispers from fate, scholarship opportunities had materialized for Lily just when she needed them most. Upon hearing of your father's demise, Owen pressed on, and it is our belief that he chose to make one last appearance to bestow upon you the torch of gratitude in a most direct manner. Lily sensed the very foundation of her existence trembling beneath her, as if the earth itself conspired to upend her reality. The kind gesture she had extended to a lonely old man on Christmas Eve was no mere coincidence of goodwill. It was the grand finale of a vow forged long before her existence, a magnificent circle of kindness, at last reaching its destined closure. Affirmative, yes. In a twist of fate that seemed almost poetic, Lily, a firm believer in the timeless truth that kindness, though it may take its sweet time, always finds its way back, found herself just 3 days later being guided through the imposing security checkpoints of a military installation she had never even known lurked within her own state. The concrete edifices appeared unassuming from the exterior, crafted with intention to blend into the background, yet the imposing security measures and the reverence afforded to Owen hinted at the extraordinary nature of this establishment. Within the confines of a stark, windowless conference room, a uniformed officer adorned with silver eagles upon his shoulders extended a greeting to her. "Ms. Sullivan, I stand before you as Colonel Ryan Lucas. We are truly grateful for your willingness to meet with us." His handshake was resolute yet fleeting. "What I am about to unveil to you is shrouded in secrecy, yet under the current circumstances we have been granted extraordinary permission." With a swift motion, he brought the wall screen to life, illuminating a map of Cold War-era Germany, where ominous locations glowed in a striking red. Your father was far more than a mere medic, Ms. Sullivan. He found himself entwined with an elite reconnaissance unit, stealthily navigating the shadows of the Iron Curtain. That photograph immortalizes a night of valor, when he heroically rescued Colonel Campbell during a critical operation that thwarted the looming specter of nuclear escalation. Though the particulars are shrouded in secrecy, the result has indelibly etched itself into the annals of history. Lily grappled with the dissonance between this startling revelation and the serene figure who had patiently guided her in the art of fishing and lent his wisdom to her math struggles. He spoke not a word of any of this. Lucas confirmed that he would not have. Those operations demanded an unwavering veil of secrecy persisting even through the passage of decades. What we can reveal is that Colonel Campbell, in that fateful night, swore an oath as your father bore him through treacherous lands despite enduring 3 bullet wounds in his own leg. With a lilyful motion, Lucas glided a folder across the table, its contents whispering secrets of intrigue and anticipation. Within the confines of the folder lay a collection of documents revealing a tapestry of financial support woven in Lily's name, regular deposits to a trust fund, the modest college scholarships bestowed upon her, and even the unexpected insurance policy that had Lily fully covered her father's final medical expenses. Colonel Campbell vowed to safeguard your father's family, employing every possible measure to ensure their protection. For decades, he has quietly honored that promise, a steadfast commitment woven into the fabric of time. With a quiver in her hand, Lily turned the pages, revealing a tapestry of subtle protection woven throughout a lifetime she had never realized was there. Upon receiving the heart-rending news of your father's departure, Campbell seemingly resolved to forge one last intimate bond. Lucas's voice took on a gentle, almost tender quality. He yearned for the moment when he could stand before Ryan Sullivan's daughter, seeking the undeniable truth that his debt had been duly acknowledged. But why take on the guise of a homeless man? Why not simply unveil his identity? Even now, Campbell finds himself surrounded by adversaries. His tradecraft, seemingly unremarkable, transformed into an art form as he navigated testing situations with an effortless Lily, revealing himself only when the moment was ripe, a skill honed over decades. A junior officer slipped in, murmuring something to Lucas, who responded with a solemn nod. Ms. Sullivan, a visitor, awaits your presence, eager to engage in conversation with you. With a swift motion, he summoned a screen to life upon the wall. The visage that emerged was aged beyond her recollection from that fateful Christmas Eve, clad in attire of greater formality, yet undeniably the very same man to whom she had once offered soup. Lily, he declared, his voice resonating with newfound strength, a commanding presence that filled the air. I sincerely regret the dramatic display at the diner. Long-standing habits cling to us with an unyielding grip. Colonel Campbell, she managed to respond, your father rescued more than merely my life that fateful night in '72. Campbell pressed on, asserting that the intelligence I bore was the very shield that thwarted a military miscalculation, one that could have ignited the flames of open conflict. Countless lives, Ms. Sullivan. That is what your father valiantly shielded. He was forever shrouded in the shadows of anonymity, his valiant mission cloaked in secrecy, leaving him without the public acclaim he so richly deserved. Campbell's eyes, that familiar and piercing gaze she recalled, appeared to pierce through the camera and delve straight into her very soul. In that moment, as you extended your hand with food to the frail figure of a homeless old man on Christmas Eve, a profound realization washed over me. There was no hesitation, no judgment in your gesture, only a quiet courage and an instinctive humanity that spoke volumes. The legacy of Ryan Sullivan endures magnificently through the embodiment of his daughter. Lily found herself unable to contain the torrent of tears cascading down her cheeks. With a flourish, Campbell interjected, "There's one more thing. The trust fund set aside for you has reached its full maturity. It shall encompass every educational endeavor you aspire to undertake, every journey you elect to embark upon. Your father once spoke of your aspiration to don the white coat of a doctor. The opportunity you seek is now within your grasp." The military personnel granted Lily the solitude she needed to fully process this weighty revelation. As she stepped out of the conference room, the weight of the moment hung in the air. In her hands, she held her father's service medal, a symbol of honor bestowed posthumously, delivered with reverence by a representative of Campbell. Alongside it, a letter detailed the educational fund established in her name, a testament to her father's legacy and her own future. Though the media remained oblivious to the complete narrative, a clandestine video began to weave its way through the corridors of military power. In the dim glow of the diner's security camera, the elderly Campbell is captured in a poignant moment, his head bowed solemnly before a cherished photograph of Ryan Sullivan, a keepsake that Lily held close in her wallet. The clock struck 11:52 in the deep of night. On the eve of Christmas, a magical stillness envelops the world. Just a week later, the Veteran Support Foundation reached out to Lily, inviting her to take on the esteemed role of ambassador for their winter relief programs. The role offered a generous stipend and flexible hours, perfectly tailored to support her ambitious journey into medical school applications. As the blossoms of spring unfurled their vibrant petals, Lily found herself in possession of a package that bore the weight of history. Inside lay her father's red medic cap, the very one immortalized in that poignant 1972 photograph. Accompanying it was a note, succinct yet profound, from one Sullivan to another: "The legacy continues." Upon Lily's return to the diner, she stepped not as a mere waitress, but as the illustrious sponsor of a heartwarming new annual tradition, a free Christmas Eve dinner dedicated to honoring veterans and embracing those who find themselves alone during the holiday season. Have you ever stood firm in your conviction while the world around you turned its back? Your narrative holds significance as well. On that fateful Christmas Eve, Lily stood before the barren table at the diner, her heart heavy, as she delicately arranged a plate of gingerbread cookies next to a cherished photograph of her father. Beside it lay the red medic cap, poised as though its unseen bearer was partaking in the revelry. The diner, typically shrouded in silence and darkness on holiday evenings, now radiated with a vibrant warmth and bustling energy. Every table brimmed with life. Veterans of age, families in hardship, and lone wanderers united in the warmth of a shared meal. The Sullivan table, as it had come to be known, stood each year as a poignant symbol of reservation and significance. A young boy recently thrust into the world of foster care following the tragic loss of his parents approached with a heart full of uncertainty. With a radiant smile, Lily beckoned towards the vacant chair invitingly. "Would you care to join me here?" she inquired softly. "My father always insisted that no one should dine alone on Christmas." The boy nodded, his eyes sparkling with wonder as he gazed at the photograph in the intriguing red cap. "Was he a soldier?" the boy inquired, his eyes wide with curiosity. "He was a healer," Lily responded, her voice imbued with a sense of reverence. "A beacon of hope in times of need." As the evening unfolded, Lily glided lilyfully between tables, her presence a warm embrace that made everyone feel cherished and at home. She halted, the door's chime echoing through the air as Owen stepped inside, offering a respectful nod in her direction. With a flourish, he presented her an envelope. Within lay a succinct note penned in a handwriting that stirred echoes of familiarity. The circle endures an unbroken chain of existence, ever turning in its relentless dance. "Well done," Lily grasped instantly. Somewhere amidst the throng, perhaps Campbell himself was observing, or maybe one of his confidants. The details were inconsequential. What truly mattered was the unyielding thread of kindness now reaching out to a new generation. Some gifts may not be adorned in paper, yet they embody the worth of a lifetime. And sometimes a simple meal offered at just the right moment becomes the key that unlocks a debt of gratitude dormant for decades. As the snow fell softly outside the windows, Lily observed the assembly of strangers transforming into something profound, a community, albeit fleeting, united by the profound recognition of our shared humanity, standing resolute in the belief that no soul should ever confront the shadows in solitude. Her father would have wholeheartedly approved. Have you ever embarked on a seemingly insignificant action that set off a cascade of profound consequences? Unveil your tale, for kindness awaits its moment, seeking the perfect soul to embrace it. Join us on a journey of extraordinary tales, where we honor the truth that even the tiniest acts of goodness are eternally deserving of our remembrance.